So today was the official launch of the WWE Network. At 9 a.m. this morning, you could log on to WWE.com on your desktop or your laptop, or you could log into your PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 accounts, or your Roku, or even your Android Marketplace, or iTunes for the WWE app, and you can start watching all the WWE, WWF pay-per-views throughout history. All the WCW, NWA pay-per-views throughout history. Obviously not involving the NWA when it was involved with Total Nonstop Action. And all the ECW pay-per-views involved through history. Now, not exactly correct, as I had some issues watching some of the Vault content. I could not watch my Vault content on my tablet. I tried. What I did, however, have access to was the live feed. And even using the mall's wonderful, horrible Wi-Fi, I was able to stream rather seamlessly. I only had a couple blips here and there, and I was able to watch the live feed of the WWE Network throughout my day today. Started off with the first of many original programming on the network, the WrestleMania Rewind, which was talking about the first ever main event of WrestleMania 1, Hulk Hogan and Mr. T taking on Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper. Really interesting to hear the backstory of that match from almost everyone involved. And then we went to a countdown show, counted down the most coolest catchphrases, which is really entertaining. And Ric Flair, spoiler alert, was deemed number one. Made sense to me. And we aired something that was on a couple months ago. There was an episode of NXT that was called This Is NXT, and it was basically just to introduce everyone to the NXT product and some of the NXT superstars and the NXT championships. And then, of course, it ended with the phenomenal Sami Zayn-Cesaro match. That was the 2 out of 3 falls contest. That was deemed the 2013 NXT Match of the Year that I really enjoyed calling. And if you want to hear my call of that match, you can go back to the video here on Pop in the NXT and SmackDown playlist, and you can check that out. So, excuse me. After this, got to see the full Wrestling Greatest Rivalries between Bret Hitman Hart and the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Got to watch that all 2 hours in its entirety. And also got to watch WrestleMania 1. And then we led to a live pre-show for Raw. And right now, as we speak, they are finishing up the live post-show for the Raw that I just watched. So, if you did not take advantage of the WWE Network and you're available to do just that, what are you doing? Seriously, you have a 1-week free trial, which you can sign up on WWE.com. Sorry, when Disney going to be a show here, apparently, for the company. So, needless to say, you get all this content for a week, and that includes the NXT Arrival pay-per-view 2-hour special that is going to be airing this Thursday night at 8 p.m. on the WWE Network exclusively, as well as all the original content and Vault content going into next week, obviously, next Monday. After next Monday, if you want to cancel before then, you can cancel. No problem whatsoever. You don't have to pay a dime. But if you don't cancel and you signed up for a free trial, it will automatically roll over to $9.99 charging you, and it will start your 6-month subscription. And the only way you have to pay the $60 outright is if you sign up via iTunes and because you have an Apple television. That's why you would pay the $60. Otherwise, it's $9.99 plus applicable sales tax, whatever that may be, in your area, and that will get you all the live content. It will get you Superstars, Main Event, and NXT every single week. It'll get you the original programming, and it'll get you access to the Vault, Raw, SmackDown, replays of the such, as well as all the WWE, WCW, and ECW pay-per-views, including stuff like ECW Hardcore Television. I saw some World Class on there. I saw some old school content. Some MSG shows, actually. There was a show, an MSG show from 1991, which had a Roddy Piper Ric Flair match on it that I definitely want to check out as soon as I can. And it's really cool because there's a search function on the network that you can just type in a wrestler's name, and signs point that if you type in a wrestler's name and you click search, you will find all of their official content on the network. And I was searching through names just to see who I could find, and it's some interesting names that come up, to be totally honest. So yeah, Suro and Disney definitely approves the WWE Network, and I have no problems in continuing my subscription. I'm very excited about being able to watch pay-per-views legally, and but still, I am very excited to be able to watch 6 months of WWE programming and pay-per-views for $10 a month. You can't beat that. You just can't beat that at all. I mean, I have the iPod, which is able to play the WWE Network. I have my iPhone, which is able to play the WWE Network. I have the WWE Network on my desktop and on my laptop, which is behind me right now, and my Android tablet, my Google Nexus tablet. I can watch the network on all of these contraptions, so that is awesome. So, kudos WWE. So now that I've shilled the network, that's exactly how we start off the show. Hulk Hogan comes out to do just that. He comes out, huge pop from the Green Bay crowd, which legitimately sucked all night. I mean, come on. Obviously, the obligatory chants for CM Punk, and you knew it was going to happen. It actually happened rather early in the show. It actually happened in the first match with Batista and Alberto Del Rio, which they had a rematch from last night's Elimination Chamber. They also went into the Jerry chants, and they just did all sorts of random chants in the show, and just took away from some of the special qualities in the matches. It just kind of the crowd ruined the show tonight. I mean, it's not a terrible show. It was alright. I mean, it wasn't anything extremely major. There were a few really major developments leading towards WrestleMania, but still, given the fact that we're 41 days away from the biggest pay-per-view of the year, yeah, we're not really, in some ways we're really on there, and in some ways we're kind of lacking off a little bit. Kind of slacking off just a little bit. Well, Hulk Hogan comes out and he basically says tonight marks a turning point in his career because he's officially home. 30 years ago, he was involved in the first ever WrestleMania, and history was made that day, and history will continue to be made today with the WWE Universe. And he says the WWE Universe again, because it makes me think that he messed up. But Hogan knows what he's doing, and he color corrected himself and basically says the WWE Network this time, and he says the network again, obviously to make sure he's got it right. So he says the Hulkamaniacs were a huge part of this, and basically all day long he's been walking around like a proud papa, knowing that this will all be immortalized into professional wrestling history, and sports entertainment history in this case. He can watch matches starring the living legend Bruno Sammartino, or the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, or even The Rock Jack. I don't know who The Rock Jack is, but I think that Dwayne Johnson needs to sue this guy because apparently he's trying to steal his gimmick. Anyways, the most important thing is the then and now, and the future of the WWE Network. The future is WrestleMania 30. And because this is the turning point, and Hulk Hogan is finally home, he wants us to all know he's officially announcing that he's going to be hosting WrestleMania 30. So it's official, the rumors are true. Hogan hosts Mania, so that's what's going to happen this year. And he drops his catchphrase, "What you gonna do when Hulkamania, the WWE Network, and WrestleMania 30 runs wild on you?" Poses a huge pop. That's it. Hoping via the interaction that we got last night at Elimination Chamber with a couple of jabs being thrown verbally, that this was going to be a Bad News Barrett segment, and it wasn't. So, yeah, no Wade Barrett on the show. It's really interesting. I don't know if he's on Superstars or not. I don't think so. But, yeah, no bad news tonight. Interesting. Well, bad news did start in the first match, and it was a rematch from Elimination Chamber. Batista against Alberto Del Rio. Of course, the fans have now termed him Boo-tista. It's the old Mr. Burns shtick from The Simpsons. Are they saying boo? Or are they saying boo earns? And Smithers said they're saying boo earns. So Mr. Burns was like, oh, okay, that's fine. No harm done there. So Batista comes out, and the smart thing he does, he immediately points to a Boo-tista sign, kind of rolls his eyes. So, a little bit of a light bulb went off and basically tells us that very soon WWE hit the panic button and he's going to be turning heel before WrestleMania, which apparently is when he was supposed to turn heel, if you believe anything that you've heard. So, Batista will be heel going to WrestleMania. This is the right thing to do, obviously. So we go midway through this match, and he comes off the ropes, does Del Rio, and he goes for the Del Rio slide, and of course Batista's out of the way. Del Rio hits the ground hard. So Batista tries to take advantage. Del Rio neck snaps him across the top rope, goes up top, and Big Dave with the right hand climbs up, goes for the superplex. He connects, and Del Rio stops him with a savate kick to the ribs. And he charges in, and Batista nails him with a clothesline, over-the-shoulder power slam, 1-2, and a kick out. Batista tries to take advantage again, and Del Rio plants him with a divorce court, and drops the knee pad, setting up for the GSK. Oh, dear God, this looked bad. But I'll give credit to Dave for selling it, I guess. So he goes for the GSK, and the spot is supposed to be, he ducks, and Batista takes advantage. Well, the announcers even sold it as a glancing blow. Batista didn't really duck. He kind of ducked, but not really. He kind of caught him like literally right in the top of the head. So Del Rio stomps him in the head for good measure. Misses the charge. Batista nails him with a spine buster. Randy Orton's music hits. He comes out top of the ramp for the distraction. Del Rio rolls him up from behind. 1, 2, 3. And Alberto Del Rio wins by pinfall. Orton's on the mic. He says that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That and the fact that the WWE Universe are reacting the way they are to your so-called triumphant return. They don't like you very much. As a matter of fact, it's pretty positive to me that you're sorry right now that you even came back. So Batista, breathing heavy, says, Randy Orton, you're wrong. I love this business. The fans have a voice, and so do I. If they cheer me, I'll cheer them back. If they boo me, then I'll boo back. So yes, Batista is now the 2014 version of Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Given the fact that when Diesel was getting, before he left the company, like leading towards the match with Undertaker at WrestleMania, Diesel did a gimmick where if you wore a black glove, you supported Big Daddy Cool, and if you didn't, then screw you. So that's pretty much what Dave's doing right now. So, it's honestly nothing you know about. Pretty much saying that Batista knows about the real and Del Rio. I've read Del Rio's name. Randy Orton just doesn't. So, what matters now is that I beat you at WrestleMania. And no matter if you like it or not, you're looking at the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And he uses his Steve Polychronopoulos line, deal with it. So, yeah. Here's the thing. Del Rio got cheered tonight, but not as much as he did in Minneapolis at Elimination Chamber. Batista got booed out of the building, regardless of how you look at it. And the Boo-tista chants were definitely prevalent. Now, like I said, the panic button's been hit, but not really, because if you really think about it, I know I said that, but I'm going to retract my statement. Now I'm thinking more that, obviously they're going to turn Batista heel, they want to do it at WrestleMania, given the fact that the reactions are so strong, they have to listen, and by listening, they're going to turn him now. So, it was announced later on in the night, on SmackDown, Batista is going to address the fans. It's like the animal unleashed, so makes me think that Batista is going to further delve into a heel turn as of SmackDown, if not complete it completely. But I think that may be a bad idea, because the ratings show that SmackDown isn't as watched as Raw is, obviously, because less people are going to be watching on Friday night at 8 o'clock than people watching Monday nights at 8 o'clock. That being said, I think that Dave going heel on SmackDown is a bad idea. I think they should save it for next week's Raw, given the fact they're going to be in Chicago, and obviously we know who the crowd's going to chant for in Chicago. And WWE realizes that, so what do? They made a guest host. I know this is much later in the show, like in the third hour, but still, I mention this because they're bringing in Aaron Paul, who is obviously promoting the Need for Speed movie that everyone knows because of Breaking Bad. And he is going to host Raw. So that's going to try to take a little bit of the heat off of everything, given the fact that the fans are going to chant for CM Punk incessantly next Monday night. And I'm really interested to see exactly what's going to happen with Punk's chants, how they deal with it on Raw next week. It's going to be rather interesting. So we get another match up next, non-title match this time. Big E, the Intercontinental Champion, taking on Cesaro. Obviously, Swagger can get the job done, so Cesaro is going to take a crack at it himself. This time, titles are on the line, and the Cesaro-Big E match was really good. I'll talk about it in a second. The match with Big E and Swagger from Elimination Chamber, I really enjoyed, and I was really interested to see what's going to happen with this. Big E being a former NXT champion, he was the second NXT champion. There's only been 3. The other 2 being Seth Rollins and Bo Dallas. And if you believe what people think, there'll be a new NXT champion crowned on Thursday, and Adrian Neville. Or they could just swerve us and have Bo Dallas win again and build to what they were going to do in the first place, and then have Sami Zayn take the title off of Bo Dallas, which is what everybody wanted anyway. So I keep thinking, I know this is not NXT, but I keep thinking that the only reason that Adrian Neville has this spot right now, I know this may be like, stupid to think, but think about it. It may be a possibility. Maybe because they wanted to, there was a chance they were going to hitch the wagon to Chris Hero when he was Cassius Ohno, and they set it up, and then they kind of changed their mind on him. So I think that might be his spot, but it probably was Neville's all along. I think this was really a Sami Zayn storyline that just did not go that direction. But we'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that actually on Wednesday when I do my NXT recap. So this match is actually really good. Cesaro's got the Cobra Clutch on Big E and a gut shot out. Swiss uppercut comes off the ropes, and Cesaro gets caught with a gorilla press, Ultimate Warrior style, charges him with the shoulder. Cesaro scoots out of the way, and he goes shoulder first in the ring post. He rolls him up, stack up, 1-2, and a kick out. Comes off the ropes, double boot stomp, 1-2, and a kick out. And the diving Swiss uppercut in the corner, 1-2, and a kick out. Swiss sleeper applied, and Big E elbows his way out. Catches the forearm, comes off the ropes, and tilt-a-whirl into the big ending. Countered, shoves him to the ropes, and he catches him with a snap power slam, 1-2, and a kick out. Deadlift, gut wrench, 1-2, and a kick out, and the chin lock is applied, turn quick back into the Swiss sleeper. 3 gut shots, breaks it, whip in, reverse, sleeper, jumps up on Big E's back, obviously. Big E flips forward and escapes out of it, charges in, E catches the back elbow, clothesline, ducks the clothesline, belly-to-belly suplex by the Intercontinental Champion. Finally hits the big splash, 1-2, and a kick out. Drops the straps, goes for the big ending, gets countered, toss-up, Swiss death, 1-2, and Big E kicks out. Goes for the Cesaro swing to a huge pop. Big E kicks him off. He gets booed for it. Charges in, and Cesaro gets taken out of his boots with a vicious STO, 1-2, and a kick out. Cesaro uses the leverage move to pull Big E to the floor. Swagger behind the referee's backs because Cesaro has him distracted, goes for a clothesline. Big E ducks it, and he clotheslines Swagger into oblivion. This allows for a shoulder block, ducks the clothesline, double leg bumps Cesaro off the ropes, and the Cesaro swing. 10 rotations this time, and Swagger comes in the ring, given the fact that he just got knocked loopy by that clothesline on the floor. Locks Big E in the Patriot Lock, which calls for the disqualification. Big E attacks. Cesaro plants him with a neutralizer, leaves him laying. Yes, continuing the fact that we're building towards the eventual elimination of the Real Americans as a tag team, and Cesaro being a strong monster babyface. The thing is, though, you're going to build two main stars in Cesaro and Roman Reigns. The thing is, I don't know about timing right now. I think you don't really do it yet. You don't want to take shine off of Cesaro over Reigns, or you don't want to take Reigns' shine off Cesaro. So, I mean, either way, it may not be the right timing for it, but it's going to be amazing when Cesaro becomes a babyface, because obviously, the giant swing always gets a huge pop, and it's always going to. So, yeah, that's something you look forward to. And, oh, by the way, there was a spot that happened before the match started, and I definitely wanted to mention this. We did a crisscross spot in the beginning of the match, and Big E goes for his leapfrog, his huge leaping ability, gets caught in midair, spun around into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker from Cesaro, and I definitely wanted to mention that spot because it looked incredible. So John Cena comes out next. He says to prove yourself, you have to go through him. He's basically the measuring stick here, and no matter who it is, they have to go through John Cena. Bray cost him a shot at the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30 by being involved in the Elimination Chamber, and basically he asked Bray to make another bold move right here, right now. We get the Wyatt interruption, and we get this. So, Green Bay, we're here, and weird cheap pop from for the Wyatt family. The Wyatts come out. This world has an infection, and the virus is the human race. And through all these troubling times, John, it makes sense that you paint yourself in the middle of this. After all, what would the world be without its hero? What would the world be without its knight in shining armor, riding in to save the day? People like you, John, are full of empty promises. You promise to save these people. You promise to keep them safe. You tell them that everything will be alright just as long as you're around. Liar. You're a liar, John Cena. This is a terrible world. A cold, dark, lonely place. You stand for these illusions, but I stand for everything that's real. You say the future must flow through you, but I couldn't agree more. Allow me to properly introduce myself. My name is Bray Wyatt, and we are the Reapers who bring death to this era of lies. Dear God. So he says, after a second, well, I'd like to make an introduction myself. My name is John Cena, and if you get in that ring right now, you're starting something that I'm sure you can't finish. Go ahead and make that move. So, he says it's go time, Jack. Second time someone's mentioned someone named Jack in this show. Hogan did it first, now John Cena. Coincidence? Harper gets on the ring apron, gets knocked off. So the Wyatts mug Cena. And at one point, Eric Rowan has the leg of Cena. And Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt are like pulling Cena in the opposite direction. Well, the leg is stationary by Rowan because he's so monstrous. He's definitely using his strength. And he twists the knee. So Cena either A, blows out his knee, B, dislocates his knee, or C, hyperextends his knee. Either way, this wasn't in the storyline, folks. It really wasn't. So, Cena attacks Bray anyway, and Rowan and Harper get the upper hand. The Wyatts leave, but that's just a minor distraction for Cena walking on one leg at this point. Cena charges Rowan. This distraction allows for Bray to hit the Fall of Humanity. And he kneels above the body of John Cena, follow the buzzards. Cena legitimately gets stretchered out of the building. So, yeah, this is not a good thing if this is legitimate. But then again, John Cena is Superman after all, as the internet will have you believe. So, Cena completely throwing out any of the IWC Superman stuff. I will say that John Cena has miraculous healing abilities. He's literally like Wolverine. He can heal himself like that. So, hopefully John Cena will be fine within the next 40 days and 40 nights. So, he can battle Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Now, obviously, he's going to be facing Eric Rowan. That's going to be stiff. And Luke Harper, that's really going to be stiff because Harper is awesome. And then, of course, after he gets past the Wyatt family, he's going to go after the matriarch. I guess that would be, I don't know if it's matriarch or patriarch, I don't remember. I think matriarch's the man. Let me make sure I got this correct. Because I feel stupid if I say that. Yeah, what is the matriarch? If I call him the matriarch, oh my god, I'm so stupid. The patriarch of the Wyatt family. Sir Owen Disney should not try to do things like that. I called Bray Wyatt the woman of the Wyatt family. I'm sorry, Bray. I did not mean to do that. I got my matriarch and patriarch kind of discombobulated. So yeah, the patriarch of the Wyatt family, or basically the cult leader, the David Koresh of wrestling in this day and age, Bray Wyatt. So, gonna be interesting to see where we go with this. Honestly, if Cena's really hurt, this is not a good time at all. Not one iota. So we had a match, obviously, I talked about on SmackDown a couple days ago with Christian and Sheamus, that ended with Sheamus getting knocked off the top rope when he was celebrating after he won the match. And of course, Christian eliminates Sheamus with a frog splash off the top of the pod at the Elimination Chamber. So we get this match, not as good as the match on SmackDown, but still okay. Christian takes on Sheamus, so Sheamus gets pulled off the top, and he hits the buckle chest first, he goes to the floor. Christian goes up the arm again, rams the arm into the steps, tosses him back in, 1-2, and a kick out. So, repeated shots to the midsection, like, focusing on the ribs, basically. He steps on the ribs in the corner, falling headbutt in a reverse bear hug by Christian on Sheamus. Really interesting to see Christian use power offense. Fans start chanting boring. What does Christian do? Locks on an abdominal stretch. Wrestling 101, folks. Elbow in the ribs to add more insult to injury. Sheamus elbows out of the way and Irish uppercut on 2 separate times. And a whip in and kick to the chest, stops momentum, drop toe to the rope, slingshot, uppercut, goes up top, goes for the flying body press. Sheamus ducks out of the way, hits the high knee, axe handle, over the shoulder power slam, and he gets shoved to the floor. Christian charges in, he gets stopped with a knee lift, clubbing blows, slingshot shoulder, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the cloverleaf again, and he gets countered. Christian with a back kick, and he goes to the middle rope, gets pulled off into the cloverleaf. Christian gets the ropes. The irony of the fact is that Christian used the cloverleaf as a finisher in the Independence. So there you go. Christian goes to the floor to break up momentum, and they give chase. Christian with repeated kicks when he gets back in the ring, picks him up, and gets caught with white noise. Turn around into a sunset flip, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the over-the-shoulder power slam. This time it connects, 1-2, and a kick out. Ducks the brogue kick and back kick, and he goes to the middle turnbuckle for a double axe handle to try to crown Sheamus. Gets caught with a brogue kick, 1-2-3. I've seen better matches between the two, but it was serviceable for what it was. We get our Black History Month final segment of Black History Month, given the fact it's February and the month is over. As of this Raw, it's talking about Soul Man Rocky Johnson and Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Really nice video package on them. So we get a little commentary with the Shield, basically talking to each other, and Ambrose is trying to explain himself. He's like, you know what, if you don't believe me, screw you. He walked out. Rowan and Seth are left by themselves. The Wyatts interrupt, and we lead to a match with Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns one-on-one. You leave the Wyatts at ringside, I'll leave the Hounds in the back, and Bray says, I'll accept your challenge. So we're getting Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns later tonight. Speaking of a match that was set up via the WWE app and via the WWE Network in this case, and that's going to be done a lot more than usual nowadays, we get this match, the MVP of the WWE, Daniel Bryan, taking on Corporate Kane, still looking like a reject from the days that Hardcore Kid was Aaron Aguilera in WWE in like the 2000s, like the early 2000s. I think that was the time it was. He looks almost exactly like that. He's got his wife beater on and everything. He's ready to fight. So yeah, Kane is now deadbeat dad. Way to show authority. So, we get this match, and of course, Triple H and Stephanie putting over the network. Daniel Bryan comes in earlier on in the day and basically says, you sit Kane on me every time. Why don't you just take me on one-on-one? How about you face me at WrestleMania? Triple H says, you know, I remember the thing I said about being an A-plus player. I'm not going to soil my hands and face a commoner like you at WrestleMania. I'll find somewhere for you on the card, but it's not going to be against me, so we get that. So we get Bryan and Kane, which was okay. Comes off the ropes. Kane with a big boot to the injured shoulder. He's still doing the Brian Pillman thing with separated shoulder. 1 count, Bryan kicks out. So he ties the arm up in the ropes, whip in, clothesline in the corner, 1-2, and a kick out. Kane with an arm bar, a very unconventional move for him. Bryan punches his way out, big right hand by Kane, whip in, backflip, ducks Kane's clothesline, comes off the ropes, hooking clothesline. The yes kicks, goes for the buzzsaw, duck, pushed into the ropes, caught off, sidewalk slam, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes up top, gets caught, climb up, and Kane caught with a top rope Hurricane Rana, 1-2, and a kick out. Running dropkick in the corner, running dropkick in the corner, goes for the third, gets stopped with a huge right hand from Kane. Charges in, Bryan low bridges him, and Kane gets nailed with a tope into the barricade. Kane is against the barricade, Bryan charges in, nails the fire-breathing knee to the barricade. When they get back in the ring, goes up top, missile drop kick. Kip up, buzzsaw kick, connects 1-2, and a kick out, goes up top for the swan dive headbutt. Dives off, gets caught in the goozle, goes for the choke slam, connects 1-2, Bryan kicks out. Goes for the yes lock, countered into the... Well, goes for the goozle countered in the yes lock countered back into the goozle countered back in the yes lock. Kane just swats him off like a common housefly, and ducks the clothesline, does Bryan, comes out of the corner, explodes with a fire-breathing knee, 1-2-3, and beats Kane clean in the center of the ring. Hopefully this is over. Bryan gets on the mic, calls Triple H a coward, says he made the challenge to a match at WrestleMania, and he hid behind his wife's skirt. He doesn't care what the people want ever since he put on the suit. Triple H, give the people what they want at WrestleMania. Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. And he starts chanting yes, and a lot of the crowd you saw chanting no, because in true Ed from All That fashion, no, we want you in the title match. So yeah, there's always that. The universe doesn't want Daniel Bryan against Triple H. The universe wants a triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I have no doubt in my mind Daniel Bryan Triple H is going to be awesome and is going to further solidify the fact that Daniel Bryan is going to be a main eventer for years to come. But the fans need closure. And with Triple H losing to Daniel Bryan with the yes lock, you have that. All you got to do now, and as Triple H get brash, and once he accepts the challenge, he says, if I beat you, you don't get a title shot forever, or you pull the TNA spot with AJ and do a year. Like, if I defeat you, you don't get another title shot. You beat me, I'll give you a world title shot at Extreme Rules. And then have Daniel Bryan win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Extreme Rules. And that's how we come full circle. Or you drag it out to SummerSlam, but God, that's a long time, so we don't want to do that. Either way, Daniel Bryan's going to be WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and it's going to make a lot of people happy, including this guy right here. So, I didn't get to talk about Emma and Summer Rae on NXT this past week. I'll talk about it on Wednesday. We get a rematch tonight. Emma comes out with her first official entrance by herself. The bubble machine even returns, which is awesome. There are bigger bubbles in WWE than the tiny ones in NXT and Full Sail. So, Summer Rae looks gorgeous as usual. I think Emma's cute as a button. I think they're both very attractive females that can actually wrestle. And that is awesome. So Emma with her slide through sunset flip, 1 count only. And Emma gets laid out with the spinning heel kick, 1-2, and Emma kicks out. Summer chokes her on the middle rope. And the knee across the throat, basically asking Santino if he finds her pretty now. And just mocking him. Really awesome. Cover, 1-2, and a kick out. Modified Cobra Clutch applied, and basically she's taken down, goes for the spin kick again, block, turn around into the Emma lock, and after the match is over, that of course spells defeat, given the fact that Emma is getting an NXT Women's Championship opportunity against Paige on Thursday at NXT Arrival, so obviously you have to let her look strong, given the fact this is her first match as a singles on Raw. And given the fact she's facing Paige for the NXT Women's Championship, she has to look strong, and that's exactly what she did in this match. So So after the match is over, she goes to hug Santino, knocks him over, and the love connection continues to blossom. Yay. So our next match is the match that the internet thought was going to be a title change, and I was like, it's not going to happen. New Age Outlaws against Jimmy and Jey Uso, not a title match. So number one, that didn't happen. So Usos are in the ring, Outlaws are in the ring after commercial break. That's a bad sign. Obviously, that's not going to go very long, and it doesn't because basically the Road Dogg says, get out of the ring, young boys, show some respect to your elders, and let us come here what we want to do. They do the Outlaws entrance, and Road Dogg says the New Age walks right into a Savate kick, knocks out the Road Dogg, so he's out, ducks Billy's clothesline, he goes out to the floor, and they hit the Samoan suicide dive on Billy, while you have the Uso come off the top of the Samoan splash with a crotch chop, mind you, and get a clean win over the Outlaws in like a minute. So yeah, still gonna say that the Outlaws are losing the titles at WrestleMania, and that's the right direction to go. So yeah, this Usos Outlaws feud will continue. So we get our next match, and the crowd sucks in this match, like legitimately sucks in this match. It's Bray Wyatt against Roman Reigns, a match that really would have popped the crowd in Minneapolis last night, but did absolutely nothing for this crowd in Green Bay. And the Vikings really are better than the Packers. Now, and this is coming from someone who's not a football guy, obviously. So, let's talk about this match, shall we? Bray with a chin lock, Roman punches his way out, and gets caught, boot to the knee, comes off the ropes, and he just runs Roman over, like bum rushes him. Roman tosses Bray to the floor, and he hits the clothesline on the floor. We come back to live action, commercial break, and big slam. Leaving back senton on Roman, 1-2, and a kick out. Kick straight to the face, falling headbutt, chokes him on the ropes. Right hand, boot in, snap suplex on Roman, 1-2, and a kick out. Crowd's really turning on this match. It really sucked. This match wasn't bad, but the pacing was horrible in this match. Horrible pacing in this match, and horrible placement on the card. Headbutt, ducks the clothesline, fall of humanity from Bray, 1-2, and a kick out. Avalanche goes for the second one, misses, hits the turnbuckle flush, charges in, gets caught, catches the boot, and he goes to take advantage, and Roman uses his leg strength to kick him off. Leaping clothesline and an elbow, charges in with a big clothesline on Bray, gets out of the ring, hits the side drop kick to the side of the head, on the floor, catches him back in the ring, the backdrop Uranagi, 1-2, and a kick out. Sets up for the Superman punch, wide interruption. Rowan and Harper are now at ringside. So Seth Rollins shows up out of nowhere, hits a tope con hilo on the Wyatt family on the floor. This allows Bray to roll up Roman from behind, 1-2, and a kick out. Charges in, misses, goes shoulder first to the ring post. Harper and Rowan goes for the double choke slam on Seth, and Ambrose hits like a house of fire and attacks. This allows a distraction again, and Bray ends up getting victimized with a Superman punch. They knock Harper off the ring apron. Ambrose hits the ring and attacks Bray for the disqualification. There's a brawl with all 6 men. The Shield clear the house, and they stand tall. So, we have not seen the last of the Shield and the Wyatt family, and that is a good thing. So we get our final segment, and we knew it was going to happen. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar come out. They head to the ring. There's a table in the ring. Obviously, there's going to be some sort of a contract signing. Obviously, we know what's going to happen here. Brock's not in a good mood, so stay clear. Orton and Batista just get their title match out of the way, and the winner should face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I agree with that. Sorry. Triple H and Stephanie offer Brock an open contract, something they haven't done before at WrestleMania. Just simply a consolation prize. Brock wants history to conquer. Here's the first time that's mentioned. Triple H and Stephanie want the title match, but they don't want it with Brock Lesnar. So they won't put that history to conquer. 2. Brock wants to make history. 3. No thank you. You can't have Brock. You will give Brock history to conquer, or you can forget having the words Brock Lesnar and WrestleMania in the same sentence ever again. Gong. Lights go out. Undertaker shows up. No gray hair. Doesn't look a billion years old. Has his ministry goatee, which looks awesome, by the way. He gets in the ring. They have a stare down. This crowd doesn't deserve this, by the way. So, he looks up at the WrestleMania sign. Brock says, sign the damn contract. Lesnar signs the contract twice. I think he must have missed it the first time. Gives the pin to The Undertaker. And when I say gives the pin to The Undertaker, he takes the pin and just tosses it in his chest. Yeah, that wasn't a good idea. So he takes the pin. Lesnar's hands on the contract. He takes the pin and he stabs Brock Lesnar with the pin, thus putting it through his hand and onto the paper, thus signing the contract. He goozles Brock, he chokeslams him through the table, leaves him laying, and just bombs out. It's official. The Undertaker putting 22-0 over his head against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. And then, of course, after he beats Brock Lesnar, Sting comes out, we start to build to WrestleMania 31, things are great. And then, of course, WrestleMania 32, he'll face John Cena, and that'll probably be the end of it. I don't know, maybe Undertaker has 5 more years left in him at most at this point. Obviously, if it was me, there are some matches I would like to see. I'd like to get it out of the way. And you want to have matches like, obviously, you can throw anybody else you want. John Cena is definitely a match we need to do. The Rock is actually not a match that wouldn't be bad. I think Bray Wyatt wouldn't be a bad idea, especially the build-up to the match would be phenomenal. Roman Reigns is definitely an opportunity. Sheamus, maybe? I mean, there's plenty of gas in the tank for Undertaker to do one match a year, and as long as he wants to. I don't know how his body's holding up. We'll see how physical the match against Lesnar is going to be on April 6th, because I guarantee you it's going to be a very brutal encounter, because Undertaker and Brock Lesnar would not have it any other way. That's the reason why the match happened in the first place. So we set up Triple H and Daniel Bryan, which the fans don't want because they want to see Bryan in the title picture. And we set up Randy Orton and Batista, which of course will not go on last because the crowd's going to turn on it. And we set up the real main event at WrestleMania, The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. So the streak is on the line, and it's going to be an interesting match. So if I had to tell you what I recommend on this show, Big E and Cesaro is really good and very well done. The promo with John Cena against the Wyatt family, check it out. It's really interesting. Bray's promos are phenomenal. I will say right now that Christian and Sheamus, if you want to watch a match between them, their match on SmackDown was better, so check that one out. Don't necessarily miss this one, just it wasn't as good as it could be. Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt was fine. I just put the match on, mute. So you mute out the horrible crowd reaction. It was kind of slow and plodding in places, and the placement was totally off. But still, I would go back and check it out. And the final segment with Undertaker literally stabbing Brock Lesnar's hand with a pin. The analogy has been proven. Once again, the pin is mightier than the sword. I'll be here all week, folks. And that's a shoot. Wrestling fans, I will join you yet again for a lot of wrestling content this week, actually. I'm actually getting ready to go watch the WWE Network again, to be totally honest, because I feel like watching wrestling before I go to bed. Because I don't have to work tomorrow, so I'll be watching a lot of network tomorrow, so that's how it's going to roll. Wrestling fans, WWE fans, I will join you later this week for NXT Arrival and SmackDown. That will be covered later this week. I also have NXT from last week, which I need to talk about, and also have Impact from last week to talk about on Thursday, as well as Impact from this week. And, of course, we have WWE Raw next Monday in Chicago, which is going to be insane. If you thought the crowd was crazy in Pittsburgh at the Rumble, if you thought the crowd was crazy in Minneapolis at Elimination Chamber, this is Chicago, Illinois, without CM Punk on the card. This is going to be just insanity. It's going to be really entertaining to watch as we're on the road to WrestleMania. And, of course, we've also got TNA Lockdown coming up on March 9th, which I'm looking forward to recapping, obviously, on this channel. And as well, since it's award season, for just a couple more days, we've got the Independent Spirit Awards on Saturday, and the big one, the Academy Awards, is coming Sunday. So, got brand new verses coming out, really an Oscar-themed verses, if you know what I mean. That's going to be coming Sunday. We're going to have AJ's movie reviews this week, and we're going to be talking about Nonstop, Son of God, and that should be it. I don't know if there's going to be something else kind of up to AJ. So, I'm going to go watch the network, and I advise you to do the same. So, in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. If you'd like to like our Facebook fan page, which I promise I'll start updating sooner rather than later, Sir Owen Disney Pop on Facebook. If you want to try good old school Facebook, you want to be my friend, I'll accept it. It's Owen Disney. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's @SirOwenDisney. Last but certainly not least, you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions about anything you want to see on Pop, about segments you'd like to see, versus ideas you have, commentary on my literal commentary on the matches of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and Impact. Go right ahead, it's SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. In the meantime, thank you guys and girls up there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.